And having the OSC have some sort of a time limit to review these complaints would be very beneficial. Having a process for like you rightly mentioned, if a supervisor is indeed found to have retaliated, to have some very tangible consequences to that person would be very, very important.
We have a shield law that was enacted in the state of California, but that's something that should be considered by Congress. Ultimately, you will address it one way or another, because retaliation in the health place is different than a factory, because you retaliate against a physician or surgeon or a nurse practitioner or a nurse, you're going to have direct repercussions one way or another to the health and well-being of a veteran.
I'm not sure all of it needs to be legislated, but certainly the OIG needs to put in writing that providing limited patient information to support allegations in a complaint is not a violation of HIPAA. It isn't, but certainly there are employees charged all over the nation for it. In addition, sham peer reviews need to be part of the prohibited personnel actions. That's where they drum up a reason to examine a physician's cases. They have a predetermination that this physician is not properly functioning, even though there certainly is no problem with this level of functioning. And then they can permanently sabotage a physician's ability to get employed not only at inside the VA, but in the private sector. Whenever you're subjected to a peer review, you have to report being a subject of a peer review for the rest of your professional life, on every job application, on every license renewal. Sham peer reviews are done specifically to sabotage the credibility of a physician. Physicians truly face losing their livelihood, their ability to be employed again as a physician. You need whistleblowers that are physicians, people that are trained to identify the high-risk problems.
I think there's some structural changes that need to take place. One being a centralized human resource office that actually has operational authority. Currently, when I went through my situation of retaliation, I spoke with the representative from the VA HR office. They told me they're only a policy body, that they could contact the HR office where I work and maybe make some recommendations and see what they could negotiate. That's problematic because in VA, unlike a corporation or a normal healthcare system, every division or the hospital itself has its own HR department, which becomes the secret police force for the managers who harass employees. And that's problematic, and that's what needs to change. So I think an operational change for a centralized human resource office would also help. But also I think you need to start making bad managers pay their own legal fees. Currently, managers who engage in harassment have no fear because the bill is going to be passed on to the taxpayer. And even if they lose a case or they find guilty of wrongdoing, well, the bill just goes on to the taxpayer. Currently, we have managers in our office that have several different complaints for harassment. It's not a big deal to them. Regional counsel will take care of it. The Office of General Counsel will take care of it. So